we'll have a great time.
So we are live, family. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Wherever you are, wherever you guys might be in the world, I want to say top of the day, good afternoon, and good evening. We have a treat today here on the Artist Journal. We have the highly esteemed crown brother, Ammi, um, world renowned musician, agriculturalist, co owner of Soul Vegetarian, and on the brink of opening his own agricultural school. And on the other side, we have the beautiful queen in Khadija, that's a world traveler, and she have a love for the planet. She's a guardian for agriculture at the highest level. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna sit back and let this beautiful exchange of energy take place. My name is Brother Samal. If you don't know, again, welcome to the platform. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that like, share, subscribe to the platform. Without any further ado, Khadija, please introduce yourself, and then we allow Atur Ami
Sure.
to introduce himself formally because I don't want to miss nothing. And then Khadija, I will let you steer the conversation. So me personally, I'm gonna just sit back and relax.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Khadija, aka Lady Deej. I am owner of Soul Food Elements and also Lady Designs. And basically, my life's work is service to the people, spirituality, and human connection by nature. And so, let's just say I love plants, everything about nature, and I am happy to be here.
Excellent, excellent. Appreciate that, Queen Ator. I don't want to leave anything out, so if you can introduce yourself, big brother.
Well, greetings everyone. My name is Ammi, also known as the Veggieman. I'm an organic agriculture consultant. I manage ABI Organic Agriculture Limited in Kenya. Also a co-director in Soul Vegetarian Kenya. Also very deeply, I'd say my first passion is music. So my artist brand, Ammi The Veggieman, has quite a number of positive songs and messages I bring. But my the biggest thing for me, as far as even being here on this platform today, is that understanding we are guardians of life, we are guardians of creation, and I serve in that capacity wherever I'm called to. I mean, promoting and advocating for sustainable living and life itself. You know, so that's a summary of what I bring to the table.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, feel free, free yourself up. This is family. Please take it away, do
Sure.
your thing. Yeah.
So, for me, I think I just want to share the wealth of knowledge that I have and the mistakes and the journey that I'm on. And it's more so me having a connection with nature, per se, as a healing property. And I found myself going through a lot of different things in life, and I kept coming back to uh, this one particular plant, and not knowing how what do you call it? How powerful the connection is that we have with nature. I really started to really form a connection and a relationship, and it healed me in a lot of ways. And so, because of what it did with me, is I wanted to be able to share that with other people, like yourself, Veggie Man. Like when you're out in the land, and you know that feeling when it's like a pride. You walk around and you look at your plants and your garden, and then there's this sense of purpose and being. And I'm like, everyone should feel like this. Everyone should feel like this, you
I
know.
agree. I
And
agree.
so I've had my fair share of I've always been creative as an artist myself. I was a freelance artist for a number of years. Studied architecture. I'm a chef. I do a few things, and I wanted to be able to create a space where basically like kind of like garden to table atmosphere. And what better way to start growing, some things myself. I wasn't really worried about food security at the time. It was just more, connecting. And so I've had my fair share of mistakes that I made, and now I say I'm on again, off again journey, and now I just really look forward to meeting people and connecting with people who have, you know, the same like-mindedness as I do, and yeah. So it's really nice to meet you. I can't wait to hear all about what you have going on over there in Kenya. I'm gonna be there really soon.
Oh man, we're definitely looking forward to welcome you on this side. And when you do come, it'll be a pleasure to take you around to see some of the organic farms and some of the work we're doing in that space. Now, I'm on my side, I'm an active member of COAN, that's Kenya Organic Agriculture Network. I serve as a board member there. And though I'm a manager of ABI Organic, I still get my hands dirty, get into the field quite a bit with farmers and showing them basically how to manage their crops organically. So our focus is soil science and soil health, and we teach our people how to manage insects and diseases organically without killing themselves. As you know, the food systems, as we know it today, is not what it used to be. Our food has been weaponized against our people. So like you, myself, I feel like anywhere I live, I have to farm. Like right now, I have a bunch of planters in the backyard and small backyard, but I have a bunch of planters, but then I own several farms outside of that we feed. We supply organic baskets weekly for the members of the community. And also we supply Soul Vegetarian, some vegetables here. And Soul Vegetarian provides food for PNLS International Learning Center, which is a school for children right now, the majority of the children under 10. But my energy and my focus is always, let's teach our people how to live. And let's teach our people how to identify and to understand the difference between organic and inorganic. And for farmers particularly, teaching them the detriment of some of the commonly used chemicals in the agriculture space. Because you step into commercial agriculture, it's a lot. I mean, in Africa, a lot of those chemicals that were banned in other countries like 40, 50 years ago, they're still used here. New name, same active ingredients. And what we have seen happen is that the cancer rates have been rapidly increasing over the years. And we know for a fact that some of this is tied right into the chemicals used in the agriculture space. So for those of us like myself, you know, I'm one of those, what can I say? I'm a bit of, I don't want to use the word just an advocate. I'm a bit of a radical, and you'll find that in my music as well. And being the radical that I am, I understand that a part of our responsibility, because of us being stolen from the continent, and in the continent being plumaged with all this stuff, coming back home, we have a responsibility. We can't come back home and be just in a blase. We're back in Africa, we're happy. We see what's taking place, and some of it happened while we were missing. So we come back home with the knowledge and the expertise and the wisdom we have to share 100%. With our people. Yeah, as well as absorb and to absorb so much of the indigenous knowledge that's still here because it's so rich, but it's under attack. You know, so we actually hold that as a dear responsibility that we cannot look away from. So when you come, we'll take you around and show you what's happening.
Yeah, and, I appreciate your revolution. Yeah.
Thank you.
Khadija, could you?
No, I was going to say I appreciate the way how you revolutionize.
Yeah.
Khadija, could you speak a little bit to your work that you've done in Ethiopia?
Can you hear me? Ethiopia. I didn't hear the whole thing. I'm sorry. It went in and out a little bit.
Could you speak a little bit to what you was working on in Ethiopia?
Oh, absolutely. So I traveled to Djibouti and then went to Ethiopia for a short period of time. I was there to sort of survey land opportunities that my brother was looking toward purchasing some land where he has connections with his wife and their family there. And while I was there, I just noticed that they had it was a lot of mountains, a lot of vegetation, but it didn't really seem like an organized way of doing things. I feel like, you know, people just do whatever they can, and that's fine. And it just seemed more of a survival mode. And to me, it was almost like the same back in the States. Like here, I feel like everyone's on survival mode and everybody just going. So it gave me a sense when I was there to kind of like stop and really have a peace be still moment. And then I really was like, what can I bring to the table here? Maybe I can bring some organization. Maybe I can show someone here how to do something. So while I was there, I noticed that not specifically in Ethiopia, but the neighboring country in Djibouti, that they don't have soil per se. There's a lot of clay over there, but the individual communities, there's like no soil. And so while I was in Ethiopia, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, and their way of life is just, farming and everything comes natural, but it wasn't like what I expected. I felt like there's so much more we have to do and so much farther we have to go. And I felt like there has to be a way that we can connect, communities together. So when I came back home, like the first thing I did when I hit the ground running is I'm like, we have to learn how to self-sustain, right? We have to learn how to do these things because, it's COVID and all these things is going on. The world is stopping, but we are all on a different time. And so what I started to do was I started to really get down and dirty and really wanted to showcase what the real importance is. And to me, the real importance is us connecting with nature. Like we heal through food, we comfort through food. And so we definitely have to figure out a way on how to grow it ourselves. It's something what we used to do. Our ancestors did it. There has to be some type of connection. And a lot of people in the States don't have a green thumb. A lot of people want to, they don't have the time, or there's always some type of excuse. And so I'm like, well, hey, I want to be the example that I want to see. And so while I was there, I let them know some projects that I wanted to work on. I came back home, started formulating a little plan, and then I intend to go back. My brother purchased the land. He has 5 acres right now. They're getting ready to do some engineering projects, just kind of see, placement strategies and things like that so they can get started. And so that's kind of the phase of where we are right now.
Okay. I mean, sounds good.
On our past live, you was mentioning how Kenya came across your desk and you kind of developed a thing for Kenya. Can you speak a little bit to that?
I did, absolutely. So I was a financial advisor for several years, 10 years at PNC Bank. And while I was there, I met this woman who was from Kenya. And she walked in and she's just kind of like my sister. And I was so embraced by that. And I was like, well, hey, and she was like, no, you're my sister. Like, you look just like my sister. And I went, oh, okay. And I get that a lot. People say, African queen, where are you from? Things like that. And, we're still trying to do search to connect to our roots, right? Well, she mentioned to me about a lot of the Kenyan woman who was over there, kind of like doing some work with baskets, and she's over here trying to sell the baskets. And I was just like, hey, I can help you with that. I'm a women's business advocate as my profession. Let me help you. So her and I connected. I really did already have this deep-rooted passion for travel. And I always wanted to go to Kenya because it was on my bucket list. And I've always seen videos. My brother vacationed there like every weekend while he was in the military. And so this woman and I just kept this conversation going. And I told her, I'm going to get there one day. I'm going to get there one day and I'm going to help, whatever it is that you started. We're going to have some resources and we're going to, help do whatever it is that you need. And I lost connection with her. So I don't know where she is, but I've done a lot of research in Kenya on the properties there and different things that they have going on there. And so if I get an opportunity, I'm thinking probably early part of, next year, I am definitely going to visit Kenya and kind of do the same thing, survey the land and, kind of like just embrace and just kind of like, get to know what's going on there. Because I really think that that's a place where we can grow.
Well, one thing, Kenya is definitely a rich country agriculturally. It's rich, but it has not escaped the attack that we see in so many of the other African countries. Because what came into Africa with modern technology was deadly chemicals. So the arable lands are actually being destroyed constantly, and it's been given into the hands of the people unknowingly. So guys are just doing what they do a lot of subsistence farming, and the elders in the villages, when you see them, they're doing things the old school way, and it works, and it's still working because they're constantly regenerating the soil. Their thoughts are naturally soil regenerative, but the modern commercial farmers and even some of the younger farmers, their concept is go to the agrovets and buy some chemicals, some fertilizers, put it in the soil, and I have an insect situation, rather than trying to find balance with the insect situation, let me get some harsh chemicals, kill these insects, and likewise diseases. But the PHIs, the pre-harvest intervals are not being respected. That's one, and that's in the toxic zone. It's already toxic, So we're dealing with that, and then the what we're facing is that they are not reading the active ingredients or doing any research on the kind of damage that these things do to the body. So understanding that some of this, all fruits and vegetables, they hold these things in the skin walls, in the cell walls of the plant, and you eat that fruit and you're absorbing whatever was sprayed. So you have what we have here is almost like an epidemic. It's like a silent epidemic. Condition, the cancer rates are going crazy, not just in Kenya, but across. I've been to Rwanda, I've been to South Sudan, I've been to Tanzania, worked in Malawi. I've worked several places, and I see the same thing being repeated over and over. Even in Tanzania, I look across the countries, and I've lived and worked in Ghana and Benin for several years, and I'm seeing the same thing. It's a lot of harsh chemicals that are coming into the market, and guys are doing the best, thinking that they're doing the right thing to farm and make some money, but the yields are decreasing. So you have a constant, like the maize farmers, maize one of the biggest things. Those who used to harvest like 30, 35 bags of maize per acre 10, 15 years ago, now they're barely getting eight sacks of maize. And the thoughts were they given from the some subsidized and all of that, but what they're told is that, hey, put some more chemicals in the soil. So they dump more chemicals in the soil and do even more damage. And then the insects from the sprays, the insects mutate, and they go and get a stronger application of something to kill the insects. So it's all, the concept is kill. So we have been doing quite a lot of advocacy work. I do make a lot of noise. So we're doing a lot of work trying to, let our people have some responsibility in understanding that the earth is a living organism. I call her my mother. I said, my mother, she's alive, and we got to do her right, treat her right. No, don't poison her and take from her. Let's do her right, because in doing her right, we will do each other right. We'll have clean, healthy food. So it's that's the fight. That's the fight I'm in. I'm in the fight like we cannot allow this situation, because it's almost put on autopilot now, where people are importing, buying, selling, spraying, killing. So the responsibility we have taken now is part to be advocates of the old concept of farming. So we say yes, modern technology, but ancient wisdom. Let's use the wisdom of the ancients. So it's one is advocacy, the other is working with individual farmers, and then on the other side, we're working now to commercialize this knowledge. So we give it to a large group of people, and teaching those who might have been school dropouts and whatever, polytechnic kind of style, but we're giving it to them so they can take responsibility for their own lives and for the generations to come. So it's a bit of responsibility.
I was gonna mention, do you feel like it's a strategy where it's like a fire extinguisher, like let's put this fire out really quick, but we really need to focus on what's going on over here? Or do you feel like there's a overall responsibility through education, maybe like, more education is what I'm hearing? It sounds like everyone that has a hand in the stake of what's going on needs to be educated as far as like what needs to not happen. You know what I mean? Like this is going to destroy it. This is detrimental, and have some policies kind of like in place for how it's going to continue to, like you said, nature takes care of itself. You go to a forest, it doesn't really need much maintenance. It's just going to do what it's going to do, and it's going to regurgitate. Everything's going to happen. So it seems like we are the biggest manipulators a lot of times in terms of what it is that we're trying to do. So do you feel like, what's the first like fire that needs to be put out right away, like absolutely, before anything else could happen?
Well, I think it's kind of twofold, because we when we address one, we leave the other behind. If we address just the future generations, then at present we and people close to us are still exposed. So I think we need to we still need to do a bit of public advocacy, as well as implement these training modules for children, and quite naturally push to get it into the schools, to get this this level of understanding and intellect into the schools. So we institutionalize what we know, absolutely. And when we need to have some big loudspeakers, some kind of way, making a lot of noise, say, hey, those things are going to kill you, because
Yeah.
I'll be real honest, most people don't know. Sorry. Most people actually
Right.
don't do anything about it until someone close to them gets sick. And that's all around, not just agriculture, so many spaces. It's not until someone close to you or you yourself get sick that they begin to know, what can we do about it, So, yeah.
When finding a solution for several problems, a lot of the methods that I try to do is, a backpedal of where, figure out where I want to go and then backpedal to where I am and then put some steps in place, to get there. So I feel like, connecting with you, there's some areas where we can explore and say, you know what, here are 5 problems. And then here are the things that we need to do about these problems. And then we may need to break into some community groups. Like, this community focuses on education and awareness. This community over here focuses on, soil preservation. And then, another group focuses on something else. That way, it's kind of like everything's happening at the same time. Like we got wheels turning. We got one wheel turning with what you're trying to do. We need another wheel and another wheel. The next thing you know, we got 4 wheels going on the ground. And then we're moving somewhere, because I know what it feels like to be in the position that you're in, where you feel like you're moving, but you're really just doing a 360 turn. Like you're back where you started, but you are moving. So it's kind of like, sharing that. And thank you for sharing that, because it lets, people like me, other people know, like there's a lot more work that needs to be done. And there's a lot more emphasis that needs to be placed on what's happening. Because like you said, a lot of people don't know that that's what's going on. People are just kind of worried about themselves. So, we have a bigger responsibility. So thank you for sharing that, because now we kind of know where we need to get started, right?
Yeah. So when you come in,
I want to be there now. Do you have room for me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm free.
I mean, I'm listening to you, and I'm like,
I think
you need to get now,
the beginning part of next year.
Okay.
The beginning part of next year. I also think that connecting with people that have a passion for this, right? Because you can't always teach someone, right? It has to kind of be already in their spirit of what it is that they want to do. So finding other people that are passionate about, the earth, global warming, anything that we need to put our hands on, finding other people that are like-minded and we all come together, like one by one, we'll be able to make a huge difference, right? And I think that that's a good place to start. So I want to come, and then maybe I need to bring somebody with me, and then we need to connect someone else, and then we just kind of like, what do you call it? Do our ooh-ah.
Well, I mean, I look forward to that, because the steps. I mean, we've made some steps, but the steps we've made in terms of Kenya is 53 million people. I've been here 12 years. In the last 12 years, I can say we have impacted maybe 3,000 farmers. Which expands out into communities. But if we apart from those thousands of farmers we have worked with, or twisted the arm, make them go organic, or preach so much to them that they're like, okay, we're going to do what you say. It makes sense. Or they themselves have already lost so much yields or so much land from poison, or relatives. They eventually end up with us. But when we join hands, it's like what was the name of the cartoon? It was like Captain Planet. So we doing our little part right here. But when we come together, it's gonna be like a big old Captain Planet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember that cartoon. I used to sing that every Saturday morning.
Oh yeah. Yes, I do look forward to that.
Yeah, it's true. What we're saying. Captain Planet is our hero. Gonna bring pollution down to 0. I definitely remember that cartoon.
Yeah, we got to.
Ammi, I have a question. Over the duration of time that you've been in Kenya, the farming kits, the restaurant, the farming, just teaching, how has the message of clean eating, planting foods and crops without pesticides and chemicals, how has that message been received over the years?
Well, I'll be real honest in saying I mean, as honest and as transparent as I can be, without being too, I love my people and not trying to cover for them or saying not to make them look bad, anything like that. But just in terms of getting, I give you an example. 2019, we had an NGO that took us around one of the counties, and during that period of time, we interviewed. I mean, we actually had presentation with groups of farmers, farmer groups, and it may be 25 farmers, maybe 200 farmers in a room at a time. They would get some of the conference halls from the schools, etc., etc. And I was always calling to speak. I had someone translating in some of the local vernacular. And during that period, through the course of 2019, I would ask the question, how many of you in this room know someone who died of cancer or had a family member died of cancer? And in every single situation, I mean, everyone raised their hand and say, yes, I have a cousin, an auntie, uncle, somebody, a brother or sister who died of cancer. Then when I asked the second question and I said, do any of you in this room know the cause? No one has answered me to this day. Which simply means that our people are under attack and don't know. So you look at the fast foods coming into the country now. A lot of fast foods are here. All the big names you can think of in the USA now here. And you know the type of you know the repercussions of eating so much junk food to the health of the people. And likewise, guys now are trying to farm, and they really want to do their best. Even some of the government officials subsidize some of the chemicals that they're given from other countries so that they can get to the farmers. You know, there's some people who say, well, they're being paid, but I know for a fact some of them don't know. They're actually doing their best. Some of them really don't know. They're actually trying to help the farmers and help them to get more yields. But the flip side of it is the consequences. So there are a lot of people here who were farming, they're eating, they're doing what they know or what they've been taught. But I mean, being very impartial, the education system here, and in so many of our what we call third world countries, those were designed by multinationals. I mean, the big companies who have an agenda. So, are we still on? Look like
Yeah,
can you hear me?
we still are. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Simone,
I can hear
are
you
you there?
perfectly. Yep.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I think maybe the words I'm speaking might have really shook the internet for a minute. But I'm saying, I'm saying that I mean you have an education system that was designed to keep the people being on the food chain. So you eat this food, you're going to be in the pharmacist. You know, you put these chemicals in your food, on your crops. You're going to end up in the pharmacies. You're going to end up in the hospitals. So they're selling more drugs, selling more chemicals. I mean, so then you have a closed loop system from education all the way up. So Kadisha, I'm in 100% agreement with you that this has to be it has to be institutionalized, and then from an elementary level in the education institutions. It has to be. There's nowhere. However, we get it in there. We know we have to wake. We are not just waking up the masses, but we have to teach our people. So, Samal, to answer your question, I mean, I know I went around a little bit to answer you, but in terms of in terms of really addressing it, when I see people, because I would say in the vegan food space where we operate in, I would say maybe more than 90-something% of the people like, you guys crazy. We need this meat. We need this milk. We need blah, 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 you know? And likewise with the farmers, I would say over 95% of the farmers are like, no, I've been doing this. I need to make my money. This is what I do. You know, so
Wow.
So there's a lot of confidence in the institutions that have been put in place. And these are just neo-colonial institutions that are designed to keep the people doing the same thing and suffering the same consequences and then dying the same premature death. So so the reason I answered it like that is because yes, there were some people who actually gravitate to what we're saying and make sense of it, but there are very, very few. So it's a slow climb. Let me say it like that. But I understand why it's a slow climb. So it's not like I'm like, you know, the people are just this. I understand the institutions and what they have done. You know, so we're dedicated to this work. Go ahead, sorry.
So for someone who's listening in, right, and they resonate with what you're saying, but they just don't know where to start, what would you express to those people?
I mean, the first thing I would say is let's reconnect with nature. let's get to know ourselves again, because reconnecting with nature is getting to know yourself. Even if you don't have any soil, if you get a little bucket, it could be a garbage bin, and put some soil in it and start growing something. Start with growing something, because I think that's the first step. Because when you begin to grow, you get an understanding of life and how life operates, how a seed becomes a seedling, how the seedling becomes a plant, how the plant produces leaves and produces fruit, and you begin to care for it. Because the responsibility of taking care of a plant, I mean, makes you have some sort of responsibility of taking care of this, because we're plants. You know, so when you understand,
Absolutely.
you begin to take that responsibility. And I think, and that opens you up to nutrition. It opens you up to, I mean, healthy nutrition. It opens you up because you realize now that if whatever I do to this plant, I'm doing to myself. You know, so I say
Yeah.
it's a starting point. And another area I would touch on is, I would say to my people, I mean, read, and not just read anything. I mean, go reading the benefits and the downsides of this type of different diets, different types of dietary applications, different type of agriculture applications. So you read, and while you're reading and educating yourself, I would say also just grow something. If you have some land space in the yard, cut a patch of grass out and grow something. You know, and if you fail, it's okay. Try it. There's no real failure. It's just a lesson. But begin to take the small steps in taking responsibility for feeding yourself. Because as Africans, we used to always feed ourselves. We were not dependent on anyone else. The minute someone else began to feed us, and they began to control us. You know, so
Absolutely. I share the same sentiment as you do, Veggie Man. I share the same sentiment. And it's kind of where what you're saying that you would like for people to do, where to start. I feel like I'm in that process. Maybe a little more ahead, but for someone who are, like he said, just watching like what it is that they need to do, I feel like having a connection, even with one plant,
yep.
like understanding the life cycle. The plant will teach you what it needs, right? Like it's
Yep.
gonna be limpy if it needs more water, or if it needs more sunlight, it's gonna be drowned. It's gonna tell you, and so you connect with it, and you learn as much from plants, and plants actually take care of you. That's one thing that I learned. So I feel
Yep.
like everyone needs to have a plant. It's just a seed. We were in elementary school. They told us to, how to sprout the seed. They said, put the seed in the Ziploc bag with the napkin and put some water in it, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's magic, it's growing inside, and I think that we still need that. We need to start with the young people, because if the young people have a love for it, they grow up with that, right? And so we don't have to wait until we're responsible adults to say, hey, what is it we're doing, what is it that we need to do? If we can start with the younger children, and they have a love for plants, they'll have a love for a planet, and then we'll have a lot more people, a lot more hands on the ground, to
Yep.
work on projects like this.
Yep. Yes. And someone said that's, I mean, Kadisha, we're on the same page, Kadisha and I, we might have been brothers. We might be twins and we didn't know.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Like we're definitely on the same cosmic time. I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Khadija, I know that you got somewhere to go, and Ammi, he has another meeting at 5 o'clock. So this is going to be the first of many. We call this one
we look forward to 2.0.
episode 1. You know what I mean? So I want to say to the beautiful queen, I appreciate your energy and your time for gracing the platform.
Thank you.
Ammi, I can't wait till the next one. Actually, I'm gonna come down Soul Veg in a minute. Give me some good food.
Okay, I'll make it. I'll order right downstairs.
Yeah, for those that are in Nairobi, come down to Soul Vegetarian. It's right here in the West End. Get you some good plant-based vegan food. Khadija, if anybody would like to follow you, what are your social media platforms?
I'm Southern Caribbean Eats. Our DBA is Soul Food Elements. So on TikTok, we're _SC Eats and Treats _ the same as Instagram. And also on Facebook, we're Southern Caribbean Fusion. So we've got a lot going on. We're in our prime season for food festivals and markets and things like that. So I definitely appreciate you having me on. I look forward to being back and sharing more with everyone, and hoping to learn a little bit more too.
Absolutely. And likewise, my big brother, where can people find you on social media, brother?
On social media, on YouTube and Facebook, it's Ammi The Veggieman, as is written here, AMMI, and Veggieman as is written. On Instagram and all the other platforms, it's Ammi Veggieman. So again, YouTube, Facebook, Ammi The Veggieman, and all other platforms is Ammi Veggieman.
And real quick, Atul, you admitted to me that you're opening up an online school very soon. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Okay, well,
Wow.
what's happening? What we're doing? We're working on having about a hands-on, practical, physical school here in Kenya that we're teaching our people organic farming as well as developing an online curriculum. So we're still in the making. We're hoping to launch by September. So we'll have that prepared. So anyone who wants to plug in and learn, even as simple as making a nursery bed or nursery trays, and giving you a bit of soil science and understanding why you have to have certain nutrients and micronutrients present that are going to boost seed growth and development, and what's the best applications for plants, foliar sprays, etc. That's 100% organic. Some will be homemade. Some we do a bit of a health food store extract. So we go into, like what we do here, it's garlic extracts, neem extracts, parentum extracts, all plant extracts to help control the insects and diseases. So we're going to be giving you all of that and showing you how to manage your plant with proper organic crop management protocols. So we're going for it.
So it doesn't matter where people are in the world, they can
Anywhere.
attend this. Okay, excellent.
Yes, anywhere.
So we will put both the Queen Khadijah's information in the description as well as Ammi. So all you guys got to do is go to the description, hit the link, and it'll take you to wherever they're doing their thing at. So I want to say thanks for supporting the Artist Journal. We are growing exponentially. And until next time, family.
Thank you for having me.
Peace out, Khadijah. Peace out, Atul.
Man, thank you. And thank you everyone for watching. My sister, I appreciate you. Love you already.
Peace and blessings to you. I mean, good seeing you, Samal.
Peace. Likewise. We'll connect.
Take care.